All right, welcome, welcome. Hey, Dottie, thanks for joining us. Adolistic, thanks for joining us today. Wow. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is our special, I like to call it our success Q&A. And we try to do them every day right around 1 p.m. And this is really based on letters and emails I receive from people just like you. Hey, Sade, welcome today. And many of these emails come to us based on a lot of the other things we're doing. Yesterday, I spoke at a Unity Church in Wilmington, North Carolina. And afterwards, we talked to some really great people, and they had some great questions. I got an email from Diane. I'll just say Diane. And her question was, how do you overcome worry? She was saying she's a worrier. She's had some serious issues. The pandemic has really, you might say, created an experience that she was not that excited about, that she at one point lost her job, and she has a new job now, but it's really just one that she had to take to make ends meet. Her daughter is starting college this year, and she's really worried about that, about, unexpected, you might say, expenses. And so as I read her letter, well, number one, I really felt for her because I've had kids in college too. And I tell you, the one thing you really want to do is try to make their life better. I know I've had some issues at one point. One of my sons, I tell you, he was committed to not doing well in school. Let's just put it like that at the time. He grew out of it. But man, I was upset because he lost his scholarship, and that meant more money. And, I'm concerned about whether I really wanted to put the money out there. Thank goodness I did. But when I read Diane's letter, I really felt, and I don't know many of you who are listening today, whether you may feel the same thing, but when you're in a time like this where you're not really sure about anything, you're not sure about your job, you're not sure about the school. You know what happened last year? Many of the kids went to school in the pandemic, and the schools got shut down. And then the parents had to make other arrangements. And so I could see Diane is super worried. And I referred her to a section of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. And it's a section called How to Overcome Worry. And, when we wrote this book, I didn't want to make it so academic. I wanted to make it such that when a person had a problem, you could go there and find a solution to that problem. So this is in chapter 5, you call it the Law of Attraction, How to Overcome Worry. And so Diane, I know that you're listening. And let's see what we can share about how to overcome worry. Well, number one, realize that worry is a negative state of mind. Worry is really a state of mind that causes anxiety, it causes distress, it causes uneasiness. And it's funny how worry creeps up on you. You just don't wake up there and be worried. It sort of creeps up on you. You're a little insecurity here, a little worry there. And then one day it's like, gotcha. And so, in a sense, worry is a form of continuous fear caused by indecision and uncertainty, especially uncertainty about the future, uncertainty about a particular event or a circumstance. Many of these people worry. I have a friend now that has some cancer issues, and I know that he's worried. All of what they call it, the prognosis is good. It seems that he's got a good prognosis, but I know inside he's worried. And so this section was written to help people eliminate worry. Not that it's not, you're going to worry, but it's to not be paralyzed by worry. It's like fear. It's not that you don't fear, it's that you're not overcome by fear. And so how do you eliminate worry from your life? Well, number one, to realize and have a mindset that nothing in life is worth the price of worry. I'm going to say that again. Nothing in life is worth the price of worry. One reason is because it doesn't change the outcome. Your worrying doesn't change it one hill of beans. So, number one, nothing in life is worth the price of worry. And so this is really a commitment to you that I'm not going to be hung up by this worry thing. I acknowledge it is here, but I'm going to figure out a way to get through this. And that second step is really, I sort of previewed it, is that no amount of worry is going to change the outcome. Worry is like an external thing. The event that you're worrying about has an existence of its own, and worry is just a mindset really that distracts you and gives you pain and distress about something that worry can't do anything about. Worry is just an annoyance for you. It does not change the outcome. But for those of you who have the book, and those of you who really, I recommend that you get the book. It's available on Amazon and, of course, on our website, herbertharris.info, www.herbertharris.info. But on page 108 and 109, there's a 7-point formula to eliminate worry. Number one, to realize that most of the things you worry about will not happen. So Diane, trust me, when your daughter goes to college this year, everything is going to be fine. It seems that the pandemic is kind of under control. The schools have gotten a lot better at handling stuff, so she'll be fine. Number two, determine the worst possible outcome of the situation you're worrying about. So whatever your situation is, I mean, evaluate all aspects of it. What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? The beautiful thing about it is a part of the power that worry has over you is uncertainty of not knowing what's happening. So once you say, let me look at the worst possible outcome. This is the worst that can happen. And step three is resolve to accept the worst. So, okay, if the pandemic comes back and college is closed, Diane, then there will be a way that you'll figure it out. Maybe your daughter will come back home, stay with you. Maybe the school. Right now, it seems that the schools are making these kind of arrangements because they know the hardship they're putting on parents. So say, hey, if that happens, sometimes you just have to say, I can handle it. Hey, Kenya, thanks for joining us today. Dak, thanks for joining us. Okay, Sherry, thanks for joining us. Sheila, wow, great group today. So once you resolve to accept the worst, then you can go on to step 4, which says, proceed to improve upon the worst by concentrating on the positive aspects of the situation. So let's look at this. So Diane was concerned about how the school will react. Thank you so much, Dak. Thanks for joining us. So she was concerned about how the school will react. Well, think about this. One of the good things that she can do is to develop a good relationship with the school, call the school, find somebody there that she can relate to as a person. You know, so often we deal with like impersonal stuff. You ever don't call customer service because, gosh, I have held on 45 minutes and nobody answered the phone. And that's my bank, okay? You call emergency at the hospital sometimes, that's scary. So the idea is improve upon the worst by concentrating on the positive aspects. So she may be able to identify somebody at the college that she can sort of have a personal connection with. That maybe in the town where the college is located, she can say, let me see, maybe I have a high school buddy or somebody I know, another family, that she can say, let me connect up with them so that if my daughter needs a person right there to help her through whatever may happen at the college, let me do that. Even with the job thing that she was saying in her letter that the job she has, it pays okay, but because of the staff shortages, they're overworking her. Okay. She's saying, like, where you normally do a 7, 8 hour day, because of staff shortages, they're really asking them to work 9 and 10 hours. And although the money, kind of justifies it, it still wears you out. And so look at that. Say, what's the worst possible outcome? That they can overwork me, that I get burned out. So what you may do is, how can I improve upon the worst? Let me be looking for another job. I see how this is going, and I don't know that this is going to change. Or maybe even, listen, let me see if I can move up to management. I can be in a better position to handle stuff if I'm higher up the food chain. But the point is, whatever the worst that can happen to you, come from the point of view of there's always a way to make it better. The glass is always half full. Sometimes what you may look at as a failure, you can reinterpret and say, hey, that was a lesson. That was just a valuable lesson. It was not a failure, poor job. It was just a lesson that I needed to learn. Number 5, review your life experiences, especially those things that worked for you in the past. Many times we don't give ourselves credit for the strength that we have. Those of you looking, Kenya, you have a whole exercise program. I think you came through the Citadel. You played football. But I guarantee you there were times when you had a challenge and you had to step up and make that challenge, overcome that challenge. I'm sure, Diane, if you're listening, I know you're listening, okay, that there'll be a way that you can step up. Look at the things you've done in the past when stuff happened. Think of when the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of us thought everything was going under. We were scared to death. But after a while, you say, look, I've handled stuff before. Maybe it wasn't the pandemic, but heck, I've been through 15 hurricanes. Okay, where the roof was on, they're taking off the house, where we didn't have any power. And so each of you, I guarantee you, there's things that you've done in the past where you overcame some challenge, something that was devastating, where you were David and there was a Goliath and you figured out a way to take that sucker out. So review your life experiences and say, you know what? If I could get through that, then I can handle this. If I could get through, losing my job, if I could get through a health challenge, if I could get through my business taking a dive, I can handle this. Where faith prevails, always have faith in your own ability to make it happen. Where faith prevails, worry must flee. Number 6, practice living one day at a time. When you have challenges, it's like no matter how dark the night, the sun always comes up. No matter what. I mean, it can be the worst night when you're on the battlefield. The Star Spangled Banner, as it says, when the dawn came, the flag was still standing. When you practice living one day at a time, I call them day-tight compartments, then you say this: forget about yesterday's failure. Focus on tomorrow's possibilities for success. Concentrate on doing everything you can today. There's only one time that you have available to change your life, to make your life the way that you want it to be. It's the now. So concentrate on what you can do right now. Many times when people are in these drug programs or rehab programs, they say, hey, just take it one day at a time. Don't worry about next week, next month, but just get through the day, keeping the faith, doing what you're supposed to do. Number 7, don't cross the bridge until you get there. When we're in a worry situation, worry has a way of projecting itself. And you start worrying about stuff that may not happen. If you deal with today, if you deal with the challenges of today and live your life so that at the end of the day, you say, hey, today I did everything I could with what I had to do it with to face the challenges. If you're here to say that, that means you won. There are a lot of people that are not here tonight who were here this morning. So the fact that you're here at the end of the day to say, hey, I did everything I could to do what I had to be done means you've already won. Don't cross the bridge until you get there. Many of the things that look like bridges and look like obstacles, as you get closer to them, they disappear. Also, as you go through the transformations and the challenges of your life, you get better. Kenya will tell you, you don't walk in and snatch jerk 250 pounds. Walk into his gym and like, hey, give me a 250-pound barbell. I got it. All you do is get a one-way trip to the emergency room. But you walk in there and you do one day at a time. Let me start with 50, then 52, then 60, then 65. And you work your way on up to it. So, Diane, and to all of you today, if you're facing worry, if something is staring you in the face, if a Goliath is standing there trying to take your life and take you out, then to know that you have the ability to overcome worry, to realize most of the things you won't worry about won't happen. Goliath ain't as strong as he looks. To look at the worst possible outcome and then resolve to accept the worst. The worst that can happen is Goliath takes me out. Well, so be it. If that's to be, fine. But otherwise, let me improve upon the worst. Let me figure out, let me strategize like David. Let me look around on the ground. Let me find some rocks. Let me look at my skill set. I'm a good slingshot person. Look at your skills in dealing with these challenges. Don't forget to look at your past, the good side of your past, where you fought Goliath before, where you had a few lessons in Goliath handling, giant killing. Practice living one day at a time. All you got to do with that Goliath is keep moving. Keep moving. Be like Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali was fighting Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle, Ali wasn't in the shape he was when he was in his prime, but he had the will to win. He said, I'm going to win because I refuse to lose. And he let George Foreman punch him and punch him and punch him for 6 or 7 rounds until George had punched himself out. All Ali said during that fight is, let me just get through this round. Practice one day at a time. And then finally, don't cross the bridge until you get there. Don't anticipate the negative. See only the positive as one step at a time, one day ahead. Get through today, you'll be around tomorrow to do the same thing all over and over. This has been Dr. Herbert Harris, and this has been our Success Q&A today. We went a little longer than usual, but I wanted to cover all of this because worry is something that's got a lot of us all jacked up. And you get this book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, on Amazon. Go to our website, herbertharris.info. Go to page 108, How to Eliminate Worry, and it is done. All right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Remember this. You can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have whatever you want to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Be sure to like our broadcast and make some comments and share it with some people. Be sure to like it, share it, and make comments.